Village Music Club always has some great acts, and this guest is no exception. Welcome back to the program. I want to welcome, what are we calling you, Dylan today? Or are we going to get John Pearlstone? A little bit of everything.
I've decided to start the discussion with John
yeah,
Pearlstone.
and also want to, and David Anthony as well. He's our Mick Jagger, and you are in yet another group, right?
Kind of, sort of. Village Music Club helped put together the Bob Dylan Tambourine Man Band a couple of years, but not even 2 years ago. But we've been able to get out there, and people are aware of us and looking for interesting ways to present Dylan, because he's so unique, and got really lucky with the chance to meet someone that's been around doing so well and so long as David, and that just fell into place where now we're going to try something together.
Yeah, David, have you been doing basically some cover stuff, the Mick Jagger kind of stuff?
We just had our 30th year anniversary of Hollywood Stones, and just this exclusive Stones group, 30 years going in. And then years before that, just doing cover acts, yeah.
Okay. And so what made you guys think like a Dylan and Mick Jagger thing would work in terms of like that combo?
So we met through some just musical interest, people that I knew he was around the area, so I asked for a chance to meet him, and he agreed to come play with one of the cover concerts we were playing, and it just went so well that we decided we'd try some of the Dylan and Jagger stuff together, almost just as a fun way to do a concert. And the reaction was unbelievable when people found out about it. It was at Seal Beach, Leisure World, and over 300 people showed up. They were crowding to get in the doors, and it just turned into a wild party. So that was the beginning of something. I'm like, wow, they like that contrast where it's not one Stone song after the next, and Dylan's so unique, you don't want to hear too much of him in a row.
Right.
So really seems to blend perfectly.
And these two guys, like you're calling this the never-ending tour kind of thing, but these guys are still out there. That's the amazing part, right? Some of the most iconic legends of rock and roll, and they're still performing to this day.
It's exactly how it developed, because it was simply like Dylan calls his tour, people have named it his never-ending tour, because he's toured straight through since 1988. He hasn't ever stopped. And really, Mick Jagger hasn't either. Maybe he hasn't been straight up on tour, but they've played together a few times during that period, so it was like, wow, just bring Mick Jagger into the never-ending tour.
Now, David, what brought you to deciding you wanted to do this music, and Mick Jagger? What was your first kind of introduction to all of this world?
Well, I've been a musician since I was a wee lad, and always had a great respect for the Stones, and especially Mick Jagger. And I've always wanted to do it, and once I found out that this could be successful, I jumped in and did it, and never stopped, never looked behind.
Okay, so we got the show coming up April 13th?
Right, we had the Tambourine Man Band just doing a straight up Dylan show, and then when this emerged, we decided to alter it, and so this will be our April 13th Village Music Club Performing Arts Center show. Okay,
we want to hear a little bit from the show. For you guys, we have a little bit of recording of you guys performing together. I want to take that right now, and then we'll come back and talk a little bit more. The relationship between Dylan and Jagger has been over the years, a mutual respect, or it's because their music can be so different in so many ways.
Well, I'll start, but I think we'll turn it over to Mick or David, because he has a lot more experience. But Dylan's played with everybody, and the Stones and Dylan have been on kind of parallel tracks almost since the beginning, where Dylan had a big influence on them. But they've appeared together a bunch, and they had actually made it quite popular. The song "Like a Rolling Stone," the Rolling Stones remade it, re-released it. So there's always been a connection, and the touring and the legendary status really makes it a natural fit.
And did it make sense to you to put this kind of combo together with the history of the two?
Absolutely. It's a fresh idea. I like it, and I'm on board here. Looking forward to the show on April 13th.
Yeah, I think the big thing is one legendary hit after the next.
Right.
You don't have to worry
Right.
about deep cuts.
Right.
There's so many big hits between these two that, yeah.
Another thing is the Rolling Stones just put out new music. Just a couple of months ago, all of a sudden we're seeing a new video from the Stones. Is it kind of cool to say to yourself, I'm not just doing the oldies, I'm actually can do some fresh stuff on stage too, right?
Well, the problem with this fresh stuff is that if you plug in a new song or two, which two do you take out? So,
Right.
That might be someone's favorite song, so you got to be careful.
You gotta be careful, mix it in a little bit. But I mean, you have so many decades to choose from. That's the amazing part.
That's right. Squeeze it into a 90-minute show, so what do you do?
It does work well for like special requests, depending on the audience if they want something. And they went to #1, so it says a lot about the interest still in these sorts of acts.
Now you guys are playing with a pack with just in exactly a dance floor kind of environment. Do you change up the act a little bit when you're there in terms of audience participation or whatever you might think of?
Yeah, exactly. So going into Dylan for just a second. So
sure.
What I try to do during those shows is a little bit of storytelling and kind of some history, and there is some history between the two characters. So that part's good. But the idea is to make it interesting, and so there'll be some danceable songs, and then try to stick with the classics that people know and love and just want to sit and enjoy. So it offers both for that venue.
I'm going to ask both of you guys this question. You've been doing this for a long, long time, but what kind of homework do you do in terms of not just the performance or the character, but like the attitude or knowing the history of these people that you're up there, kind of doing the tribute to?
There's really no homework to it for me. I just feel it deep in my soul. So it just comes out. Once the makeup goes on, I'm in. It just comes out, and the audience can see it and appreciate it.
And do people come up to you and start wanting to talk to you about Mick Jagger, their first time they saw the band or something like that?
Oh, yes. I'm very, yes, tell me more.
It might be worth spending to say, tell a little bit about where you guys have played and a little bit of your history. They've been all over the place with this.
Well,
tribute.
we've done around the world. We've traveled, and I'm glad to be here in Southern California now.
Are you settled down here, or are you staying put?
Oh, I'm done, yes. I'm done moving. I'm here. I love it. I don't care how much it rains in a week's time.
Now, John, you've performed with Dylan and other acts too. Like, what drew you to him, and do you kind of do the background on where he started the songs, where those kinds of things, or the origination of some of the songs?
Yeah,
come from?
always been a fan. Always found the songs fascinating. But the history came as I developed the tribute to try to figure out a way that so many people don't know how impactful some of these songs have been to Rolling Stones, Beatles, every major group, all the U.S. groups like Crosby, Stills, and Nash were hugely influenced by almost every key song he has. So I've spent a lot of time studying that and try to make sure people it affects people in the audience when they realize, wow, that song led to this and this and this.
And there's almost a history lesson in Dylan's music too. Not to take anything away from the Rolling Stones, but I mean, a song like The Hurricane and like a Rolling Stone and those things. They were about the times and things that were going on and justice in the community and the war and things like that.
So just a quick example, the song "Positively 4th Street" was a song about his anger with the music industry and problems they were having, and John Lennon heard that and goes, "Really? You can write a song with that sort of lyric and change the Beatles?" All of their experimental stuff started because of that song and John Lennon's impact that he felt from it.
Yeah. So again, you get on this stage and you guys are talking legends when you're up there. That's the cool part.
Can we spend a second on the band though?
Absolutely. Yeah. That's right. We want to talk about the band.
I do. This was the biggest part of this. I think this was what put it over the top to do this show here. Is when we decided we were going to do it, I mentioned to a couple musicians that I play with in the Dylan band, and they called around, and this band that's coming together is more all-star than the tribute artists doing it. Our keyboard player just finished with the Icons of Rock. They had people from Foreigner and Boston. I mean, toured the world just last year. Not like somebody who played 50 years ago. I mean, he's currently active at that level. Wow. Lead guitar player plays with top Beach Boys tribute band, plays all over the country. Our drummer was a drummer for the Cult. So I mean, it's literally like this all-star band that all came together that's going to back us up, and it's pretty exciting.
Not too shabby. I want to talk about some other shows you guys. You're a busy man. Not only are you performing, but you're putting together a lot of great shows. You got the Eagles tribute coming up on March 2nd. Tell us a little about that.
Yeah, I decided to bring David over and let people see what's coming because I thought it was useful to have a little intro to what this is going to be about.
Yeah.
But the Eagles, dare I say, sell themselves. I mean, it's such a great band. It's one of the top tributes, really regionally. I think they do a few national things, but we're well over 500 tickets sold. The pack holds 800. There are a couple good seats left. People should jump on it if they're interested, and I expect a great show.
And Bee Gees, same kind of thing, almost ready for a sellout on June 1st.
I expect to finish, the strongest. That band is amazing. It does the Bee Gees. When I heard them, I thought they were using tracks. I was sure of it. It really sounds like them. It really looks like them. And we've had people write us saying, where are the tickets? They go on sale, I think, March 1st.
Okay, well, terrific. David and John, the new tribute band for Mick Jagger and Bob Dylan. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for
Appreciate
having
being
us.
here.
Never ending tour.
The Never Ending Tour. Go out and see it before it ends, I guess.
Tickets are on sale now, so if they
Yes,
want to give them that
right.
email, that'd be great.
Thanks for the interview, guys. You're watching This Day.
Satisfaction, no satisfaction, no satisfaction.